Hello, everybody. So, I need to discuss a message that I recently got. But before that, I really want to apologize for the video I made like 3 weeks ago, maybe, about my trans versus transsexual aspect. First of all, I really want to apologize that after I rewatched the video, it did really seem like I was trying to impose my views onto people who are watching. And obviously I didn't take into consideration, and I didn't mention that I really wasn't. I was just trying to give you my opinion of something, and I just want to put that out there. Also, I do want to put it out there that I didn't say anything about, where I live. I live in Canada, so of course it's different here. I'm white. That makes my vision and my view and my experiences as a trans person completely different than somebody who's not white. I am also passing. I am a male passing person. Like, you look at me in the street, you know I'm trans. I'm sorry, you know I'm male. Okay? Only people in my life that I've talked to or have talked to once usually know I'm trans, but the people who like see me at like the supermarket and stuff, they just think I'm like a cis guy, right? So I just wanted to put that one out there. I'm very sorry. Now let's get to the topic of this video. I'm gonna talk about a message that I got either on, I don't remember, it was either a YouTube comment, a YouTube message, or it was on Tumblr or something like that. Somebody asked me, what are the perks of being trans? Honestly, there's no perks in being trans, and I think that in a question like that is kind of inappropriate to ask somebody, what are the perks of being trans, is almost like, oh, what do I need to look forward to when I become trans? As if becoming trans is something that you do. You don't become trans, you are trans. That's just my opinion, please, okay? I just want to make sure that it's out there. I'm sorry to the person who asked me that question, and if I'm like being mean to you or anything like that, but I really want you to understand that there are no perks in being trans, okay? Being trans is not something that you do, it's something that you are. You are trans. You were born either in the wrong body, as some people don't like to say that, but I'll just say it for the sake of people understanding. You were born in the wrong body, and you are basically changing yourself to match the way you're supposed to be in your mind, right? Or there's a whole bunch of variations and stuff like that, but it bothers me the way the question was presented to me. I honestly, there's no perks for me right now. Of course, I'm going to talk about some stuff that is better, I have a better understanding of the world because I'm trans, but for right now, there's no perks. Like, you've seen my videos, you understand the heartaches that we have to go through. We have to go see doctors for, like, not our whole life, but, we have to see therapists for a very long time. They have to diagnose us. They need to write us letters. We need to wait to get testosterone. It's not easy. I'm giving you my experience right now as living in Canada, okay? And it's not easy for me, okay? I can only imagine how not easy it is for other people in the world, but trust me, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun having to pay for surgery. Yes, there are countries and places like Canada where you're able to get your surgery paid for you, but you have to go with their doctor, and you have to wait on the waiting list for like 3 years. And just to put it out there, that's not for me. I'm not doing that, so I am paying for my own surgery private in the States. But point is, a lot of people, like in the States, you can't get your surgery paid for. Like, you need to go through the channels of paying for yourself. It's not fun. It's not fun having to go to work and trying to pass when you know you're not on T and you know you can't pass, and asking everybody to call you by your preferred name when you still look like a girl to society. People are gonna fuck up. You can't expect people not to fuck up if you look like a girl and people, who are assholes and don't know about you being trans still say she. We can't expect the world to change. We can't. We can't expect people to be like, oh, you look like a girl, but maybe they're not a girl. Like, you can't do that. So it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. If I could change it, I would. It's really not fun going to the grocery store and having the person at the register say, all right, miss, will you be taking paper plastic or something like that? Like, it's not fun. You feel inside you, like, what I feel when that happened to me, first when I wasn't on T and then when I stopped T and I wasn't passing anymore, it's like somebody like devalued me. Like, I was not a human. I was like dehumanized. Somebody stabbed something in my chest. It felt horrible because you're not being recognized as something that you are. It's the worst thing in the world. absolutely worst thing, because you're trying so hard to be the person that you're supposed to be, and then somebody just bang, in 1 second, that's it. And it's not their fault, because society has trained them to believe this way, but still it hurts like hell. And I have been there for so many years, so I know how that feels for me here. I know that this sounds extremely depressing, okay, but I'm not trying to depress you, because, you know, even if you were trans and I told you these things, if you felt inside like you were, you know, supposed to be, you know, let's say I'm just gonna talk FTM right now. If, let's say in your head right now, if you know about all these things that you have to go through, the channels, the therapy, the surgery, if that's what you want, absolutely not saying that everybody should get to surgery or testosterone. I'm just saying for people who want to do that. Let's say you realize, oh my god, I'm trans. I'm actually a man inside. I need to change this. And then you find out about all this depressing stuff that, you know, trans people have to go to be who they are and deal with a lot of discrimination. I'm not saying that if you were really trans that you would, you know, keep going on, because obviously I'm very pro, there's no such thing as trans enough. Everybody is trans enough the way they are if they identify as trans. That's my view. I know I get hate for that a lot, but that's not the topic of this video. Okay, my point is, if you know that you have to go through all of these channels and you still have to realize how hard it is, you know, to live your life being trans, then you decide not to transition and say, oh, never mind, I'm not trans. No, I'm sorry. I'm very open-minded. I'm very, very open-minded. But when somebody says that, that is when it devalues the identity of a trans person. When somebody says, oh, I'm trans, then they're like, oh shit, I'd have to change my name. That takes 3 years and $600. Oh, then I'd have surgery. That's about $6,000 minimum. Ooh, do I want bottom surgery? I don't know. I don't really know. If I do, it's like 80,000. I don't really know how much bottom surgery is. I'm just putting a number out there. Then they continue listing that, oh, I'll get misgendered. I don't think I'm comfortable. If I really want to be read as male, then I have to, you know, start wearing guys' clothes and stuff like that. And then at the end, you just look at your list and you're like, oh, there's too many cons. Never mind, I'm not trans. No, I'm sorry. I know I'm taking probably the question that you asked completely out of proportion, but I think this is very important to say. Like, I usually don't devalue anybody's identity at all. But when you do that, and you say, oh, it's too hard being trans, I'm not trans anymore, to me, that hurts me. That hurts me. That makes it seem like if anybody ever asked you, weren't you trans? Like, oh no, it was too hard being trans, I stopped. That makes it look like people are trans just to be trans. You know, like it's a cool thing. Like, I'm not using this term as a derogatory, I'm just using the term, you know, like it's cool to be trans. Like, whatever those people, transgender, I don't even know, I think that's what it's called. Like, that makes it seem like I'm just being trans because it's either cool right now to be in, or because, it looks fine to be in, I'll be in the cool crowd, you know, I'll be trans right now, and then you realize how hard it is, and you're like, never mind. I've seen this, that's why I'm mentioning this, I'm sorry, but I have seen this, and it has nothing to do with detransitioning. That is not what I am talking about. Because I've seen some people who have detransitioned, and their reasons are different than what I'm talking about. It's not, oh, it was so hard being trans, so now I'm a woman again. For people who are FTM, I'm talking about. It was more like, I think I made a mistake. I think I've always been, you know, a woman, but then I thought I was male, so I transitioned, and then I detransitioned. I mean, this is what I've seen. This is not my own experience. I did stop tea, but I in no way ever said that I was detransitioning. Obviously, look at this. All right, that's it. That's all I have. I'm sorry that this video was, if it seemed rude or anything, but let's just point out some good things about being trans, I guess. There's no perks in being trans, but for me, my experience, I'm talking about this right now, I'm not speaking for anybody else in the trans community, I'm talking about me. For me, being trans has given me a better perspective on life than I had before I realized I was trans. I lived as a woman, you know, for the first 18 years of my life. I passed as a woman, I was a lesbian woman, and then I transitioned. But having that perspective on life and having this perspective on life, it's like the way people treat you and the way people react to you is completely different. And seeing that dynamic makes me able to understand the world more, which is great, I believe. And you can see how much society is messed up in that way, because the second you are a different gender and the way society sees you is just it just changes things, and it shouldn't, but that's society for you. Also, because I was socialized as a girl, I I feel that I don't want to say this in a way that it makes it sound like I'm devaluing, cis guys' identity, but I think I'm better able to view the feminist perspective point of view, since I was, seen and socialized as a woman before, and I believe that I was a girl because that's what everybody told me my entire life. Also, I guess being trans has made me more open-minded, but those are all mental stuff that people go through. That's for me. I have seen so many, talking about trans guys right here, so many trans guys that have such a closed mind about like sexuality, like people identifying like as gay FTM. I've seen that. I've seen people like dissing gay FTMs. I've also seen people thinking that like if you're not straight FTM, then you're not FTM. Like, just the closed-mindedness of this community is very, very real, and that scares me. But for me, it opened my mind to a whole new thing. But it's not because I'm trans. It's because I was able to understand society and understand how I was socialized as a girl before, and now, no, And now I'm seen as male, so I still have all the socialization years of women behind me, but I'm seen as male. So can't really change that. Anyways, that's all I had. I really hope that I understood the question, and I hope that people don't get mad at me. If you do, please don't spread hate all over the internet. If you actually want to talk to me and want to have dialogue and want me to see it, you have to message me on Tumblr. I'm not going to go through my Tumblr tag. I'm sorry this video is extremely long. I just thought I would share my opinion with you that I honestly think that somebody asking what are the perks of being trans completely devalues who I am. I feel like when I'm walking down the street, if somebody was like, oh, so you're trans, that's cool. I heard somebody say that it was, good for a while, but then it got too hard for them, so they stopped. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like somebody saying like they're a lesbian and they're like, oh, I'm gay now. Oh, yes, it's fine. Oh, gay, 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 gay. Oh, wait, never mind, I can't get married. People discriminate against me. Never mind, I'm not gay anymore. I'll go back to men. Like, how would you feel if that happened? Like, it's people's own opinions. That is the way you want to view stuff. That's good for you. But for me, it just hurts me. Alright, I hope I didn't say anything inappropriate. Please, please, dear Jesus Christ, tell me if I did. Alright, have a good week.